Hello everybody, it's Felrus. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be doing another dungeon guide, this time on the spider. How do we beat the spider? Specifically, how can we clear spider 20? Well, it's pretty simple. What you have to deal with in spider is the spiderlings. And that is the hard part. Dealing with the boss is pretty easy, but the spiderlings are going to be the hard part. So the key that I like to use is some sort of cleanser, right? Every time the spiderlings attack, they put out a poison, right? So you have to either build high resistance or have a cleanser, right? And the poisons will do more damage because they can stack up like 10 of them at you all at once on your most vulnerable, weakest champion, and that guy goes down, and then maybe the fight is over depending on who they target, right? So I like to have a cleanser. So my cleansers tend to be Korugar Deathbell and Bad El Khazar. So both of those are good options if you have them. If you don't have them, you can use someone like Ugo for a partial cleanse, although she's not the best option. Skathix here, he has a cleanse that you can use if you have a Skathix. He's a good budget cleanser option, right? Who else do we have? One underrated cleanser, I think, is Steel Skull, right? Steel Skull has a single target full cleanse, which is fine because the spiderlings will usually team up on one person. So Steel Skull can just heal them every 3 turns. Heal them by 40% every 3 turns, which is pretty good. So Steel Skull is a great cleanser, right? Really, anyone who removes debuffs, right, or block debuffs, right? So that's another reason Skathix is good. Skathix puts out an AoE block debuffs, right? So Skathix, you could build a Hotatsu for the block. Wait, Hotatsu doesn't have a block debuffs. Never mind. Quargon has a block debuffs here, right? Any champion who can block or remove debuffs will deal with the spiderlings just fine, okay? The next thing you're going to need is AoE damage, right? The boss will absorb the spiderlings. I'm sure if you're watching this, you've had some trouble on spider, so you kind of are familiar, but the boss will absorb the spiderlings and heal himself or herself and increase her attack as well. So one AoE damage dealer who I really like to employ is Geomancer. The boss is not immune to turn meter control, so he will quicksand grasp. He kind of deals with everybody, and this is really great. He deals with everybody, and I think Geomancer is a spider stud. Okay, so why is Geomancer a spider stud? Okay, so he's going to go quicksand grasp on the boss, deplete and steal the boss's turn meter. Okay, he puts HP burn and weaken on the boss. Great. HP burn is another way to tackle spider. If you have AoE burn, that is another thing that you can really use in spider. I don't have that, so I deal with the spider in other ways, right? I control the boss with the quicksand grasp, and then anytime a spiderling will attack, it'll an ally, it'll reflect some of the damage onto the boss, and then we have a mini Giant Slayer proc potentially that could happen. So Geomancer here, I think he's going to be a major damage dealer for spider, right? So let me show you my spider team and what I do here. So I farm spider 20. I haven't pushed past it. I could. We might in this video. But this is going to be my team, right? Calamitous, great AoE damage, right? With Hex. That's another thing. You should bring a Hex champion into spider. Calamitous has a AoE Hex. It's great. But basically what's going to happen is you're just going to spread all damage across all the spiderlings and the boss with Hex. So bring a Hex champion for spider. Also bring a drop defense champion. Drop defense is, again, a essential debuff. You're going to kill the spiderlings faster, right? So yeah, we're going to use Calamitous as our drop defense and Hex champion. We are going to use Syl as a potential reviver, also to keep us healed up. We are going to use Bad El as our cleanser, as well as to keep us healed up. And then Armons here and Geomancer are going to control the boss. So let me show you guys how this works. It's not a extremely fast run. could be certainly faster. This team is not optimal, but it does work, right? And what you're looking for in the early stages of the game, if you're having problems with Spider, what you're looking for is something that works. You're not looking for, the speed clear yet. You're just looking to get through the content, right? So that's what these videos are to help you do, get through the content, right? We could potentially replace Armons with like a Kymar, which might speed things up, but I think this team works just fine. Like, as you can see, the defense down and the Hex are coming in pretty clutch here. And we keep the Spiderlings stunned as well with Armons. And AoE stun is also good if you don't want to deal with the poisons. Bring AoE crowd control, freeze, stun. Probably don't do sleep if you have an AoE sleep anywhere. Probably don't bring that champion because you want to hit the Spiderlings and kill them. But AoE crowd control is going to be super strong here in Spider. Right, as you can see, we're just doing little bits of damage at a time from poisons, from War Master. Poison isn't as good on the Spider because this passive here makes her receive less damage from poison, but it's still damage, and damage is damage no matter what it is, you know what I mean? We are Spirit Affinity, so Geomancer is also good because he doesn't hit, so he's affinity friendly here, even though he's force, right? Bod-El is also good because he doesn't hit, again, affinity friendly. Calamitous just putting in the work. He's gonna be doing the bulk of our damage. He's great, but if you, like I said, if you don't have the AoE crowd control, it's just more damage from Geomancer, so it's fine either way, right? The other thing you could bring is decreased speed. So Calamitous second form has decreased speed, so I do have it on the team, but I don't use it. And the reason I don't use it is because I just steal the turn meter constantly with Armons and Geomancer. But if you're running just Geomancer without Armons, maybe you have Geomancer and you don't have Armons, or you're running Armons without Geomancer, the decreased speed will be very helpful with that, so that they can get back to their cooldowns and get back to their skills and all of that kind of stuff. So that is really what you need for Spider. You need AoE crowd control, AoE drop defense, AoE hex, and some form of turn meter control. That's what you need. You can also do AoE HP burn if you don't have AoE crowd control, right? Sissia Flame Tongue, Mordecai is the budget option, right? Ultimate Gaelic has an AoE burn. Any of those guys, because the Spiderlings will deal the damage as they go, right? And that's potentially 30% damage dealt if all the Spiderlings take a turn. So, but then you don't want the AoE crowd control because you're burning out the boss, right? You just need a cleanser at that point. So I hope this helps you guys with your Spider runs, right? As you can see, the boss is almost dead using this comp. I will be improving this team as time goes on, but those are really the basics for Spider, right? Keep yourself healed up, keep the debuffs off of you, and then you get some awesome accessories. That's not bad. I hope this helps you guys. I have been Felris, and I will see you in another video.